So it's the eve of poll counting in India as the people's mandate is sealed inside the ballot boxes. Up first, we bring you the latest on India elections. So India set a world record with 642 million registered voters in this polling season. This was highlighted by the Election Commission of India on Monday. A record-breaking 312 million women voters also participated in the electoral process in the 7-phase Lok Sabha elections this year. Several lessons were also learnt. The ECI said the next general elections would be concluded by the end of April to avoid the impact of the severe heat wave. A report.
More than wins or losses, when the poll itself makes world records, it is definitely a victory for democracy. And India did just that. India created a world record with 642 million voters participating in this year's general elections. Briefing media in New Delhi, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar said that the number of Indian voters this year is 1.5 times the voters of all G7 countries. Not only this, over 312 million women voters exercised their franchise this year, which is also the highest ever in the world.
We have created a world record of 642 million proud Indian voters. This is 1.5 times of the voters of all G7 countries. There are 312 million proud women voters. This is also the highest ever in the world.
Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar praised the people of Jammu and Kashmir for their highest voter turnout in the last 4 decades.
58.58% overall turnout and in Valley 51.5. हमने जो आंखों में चमक है, जो भविष्य को लेके चमक है, जो डेमोक्रेसी में पार्टिसिपेशन को लेके चमक थी, जो क्राउड थी, जो भीड़ थी, उसमें हमने उसको देखा है.
Home voting facility, a first in India's general elections for 85-year-old and above and for differently abled voters, was also a praiseworthy initiative by the Commission.
होम वोटिंग में जिन लोगों ने हमारे साथ वोट दिया, ये हमारे लोकतंत्र के गणनायक हैं. आजादी के पहले का भारत इन्होंने देखा है और पिछले 70 सालों में इन्होंने देश की एक-एक चीज में तरक्की में और कार्य में भाग लिया है. इनको भी हम दिल से नमन करते हैं कि इतने दिल से इन्होंने हमारे इलेक्शंस में भाग लिया.
As India saw intense heat wave in April and May, Commissioner Kumar said that ECI will ensure that next general election concludes by the end of April. He also informed that the relentless heat wave claimed the lives of 33 on-duty poll workers. The 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the second longest since 1951 and 52, spanned 6 weeks and 7 phases. The extensive electoral process started on April 19, followed by phases on April 26, May 7, May 20th, May 25 and June 1st. All eyes are now on the counting day as the world's largest electorate eagerly awaits the results. Tanvi Taneja reporting for DD India.
And now let's connect with our correspondent to understand the preparations for tomorrow's counting. Deepika Mehto is joining us from India's northern part of Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi. Deepika, as the biggest festival of democracy comes to a close tomorrow, so is everything set for the poll counting tomorrow?
Indeed, Tanvi, when we talk about the counting preparation, the election, this is the penultimate day of the 7-phase spread Lok Sabha election for the largest democracy of the world. And now when we talk about the counting preparations here, especially in Varanasi, which is the constituency of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it is a very important constituency from the point of view of Lok Sabha election. And not only this, from the point of view of the current party, which is Bharatiya Janata Party, which is also, as per exit polls, expected to make comeback in its third term also. And now we are expecting, as the exit poll says, people's mandate say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to make a hat-trick over here. When we talk about the counting preparation, Election Commission of India has beefed up its security to many folds. When we talk about CCTV surveillance or frisking and any other thing which is related to security. Not only this, before 24 hours of the counting process begins, the police personnel have been deployed accordingly, we showed you a report also in the morning, and we've been showing the visuals since morning to evening that how the police officials have been deputed 24/7 hours before the counting process begins. And not only this, everything is under CCTV surveillance, and all areas have been checked in when we talk about security amid the counting procedure. Tanvi.
Okay, Deepika, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is vying for a third consecutive term from Varanasi. If exit polls do prove correct, will the win set another record?
We are expecting another record, but this time the record for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as per his expectation, is not creating a hat-trick, because they take it, they assume it that this is a given fact. They are going to make a hat-trick, because we here had a word with many ministers also. You would remember we did an exclusive with Jitin Prasad, and Jitin Prasad clearly said that this is not a question of winning or losing. BJP is winning for sure, and the hat-trick would be there for sure. But the question is of the margins, because this time the slogan of BJP from Varanasi is to cross the 10 lakh voting margin from there. So let's see if that record is created or not. But for now, as per BJP, as per people's mandate, and as per exit poll, the hat-trick is coming in for Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yeah, Deepika, whether a record is set tomorrow for Prime Minister Narendra Modi or not remains to be seen. But for now, we are hailing the record number of participation of Indian voters, for which the ECI, the Chief Election Commissioner of India, also thanked the huge participation seen across the length and breadth of the country. Thank you, Deepika. Deepika Mehto joining us from Varanasi. Well, all eyes are on tomorrow's counting process. DD India's continued coverage on the election starts from right in the morning, 7 a.m. local time. And now to understand what the ECI's statements mean for the larger electoral process of the country, we are now joined by Chakshu Roy. Chakshu joins us from PRS Legislative Firm. It is a non-profit organization based in New Delhi. Welcome, Chakshuji. Well, this is the first time that the Election Commission has held a press conference before counting. What is its significance in your view?
Tanvi, I think any time the Election Commission holds a press conference, the significance of is that it conveys the seriousness with which the electoral process is taken in the country. And I think when we look at a press conference before the counting takes place, what it signifies is that irrespective of what the outcome of election is, the fact that the process should be free, fair, independent is what matters. And I think a number of the things that were addressed by the Election Commission point towards that direction. One final thought on the Election Commission's press conference is that very often it is the process is questioned as to is it completely unbiased? Does it make sure that every vote is counted? And a press conference that like this goes a long way in establishing as to what is the rigor that the ECI follows, and what does it mean when we say that the Election Commission of India conducts the largest voting exercise in the world, and it does it in a manner which is unblemished.
Okay, the Chief Election Commissioner today called India's massive electoral exercise a miracle and a historic moment for the nation as a whole. Would you agree, sir?
I think so. I think just look at the size of the voting population. There was 1 billion people who were supposed to vote in these elections. A record number of people voted. And anybody outside of India cannot imagine the fact that in such a big country, each one of us has the ability and go to a polling station that is less than 2 or 3 kilometers from our place, irrespective of whether it is one vote that has to be captured. Election officials go to great lengths. They travel long distances and ensure that even if it is one vote or 2 votes in a particular area, they are captured. Lastly, in the segment that was starting, it showed that older people, they did not have to travel to the voting booth. The voting booth actually came to them. Yes. So the ballot box reached their houses before there was a privacy shield that was put up. And that requires a fair bit of work. And it ensures that the sanctity of the vote, even while it is cast within the 4 walls of an individual's house, is protected. And the vote of every individual, young, old, it matters. So you would have seen that visuals in Delhi. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh voted in his house. A number of elderly people voted in their houses. So that just goes to signify that the length that the Election Commission will go to ensure that no voter is left behind and each valid vote is captured in this electoral process, making it truly democratic.
Okay, indeed. Chakshuji, a word about the highest voter turnout in Jammu and Kashmir seen in the last 4 decades?
I think perhaps one of those special things that when voter turnout is high, it shows confidence in voters to come out and exercise their franchise and cast their vote to select their public representative. And in a part of our country which for a long time has had seen disturbances, this is an extremely encouraging sign that voters came out in large numbers, and possibly, as you know, many experts have said, it possibly paves the way for an electoral exercise for this for that particular region in the coming months.
And finally, as the Chief Election Commissioner pointed out, representatives from 23 countries observed and were impressed by India's electoral marvel and commended its unmatched scale and total integrity. What does it say for the state of Indian democracy, in your view?
I think two highlights to that. One, if you look at the fact that the machinery used in Indian elections is not only used in India, it is used by other countries as well. So the EVM machines, they are exported to a number of other countries. The indelible ink that I have on my finger and you also have is also exported to multiple countries. The Election Commission of India trains electoral officers from across the world at their offices in Delhi. And finally, while all of this is good, the fact that we are able to establish a free and fair election at such a large scale over such a long time establishes that while we might be a young democracy, we are a vibrant democracy, we are a participative democracy, and that shows that the health of the democracy, while it has dwindled in our neighboring countries, it remains strong and resolute in India.
Okay, strength of our democracy remains resolute. On that note, we wind up this discussion. Thank you very much, Chakshu Roy ji, for joining DD India News Hour.